getting ready to head off to the gym. I'm really trying to do my best to take care of myself this year because that'll help me with endurance later on in the year. So today last night I went and set up my stuff a little bit early. So in the morning when I wake up, I don't have to run around and do things, and I feel like there's no excuse for me. I went and set up my gym clothes. And then last night my water was ready to go. So, no excuse Monday. I always feel really great after going to the gym, so that's day one. Hopefully I can get in 3 more days this week. Hey guys, it has been another very long day of lots and lots of meetings. Today I went and wrote down a whole bunch of notes just about what is expected of me. I had a ton of notes today. I got to meet all of our coaches that we have coming in. I got to talk a little bit about outdoor learning, which was one of the most exciting things. I met with my team quite a bit, so we finally have our team of 3 kind of meeting together, and it was just, it can be overwhelming because what you're doing is you're taking the framework that you currently have and really trying to mesh that with the framework that you're going into. And because I came from such a different background than the project-based learning, there are 2 huge pieces that I'm just trying to grasp and put my head around. That's where I'm at. I feel like every day that it's supposed to get easier and it's supposed to get a lot more defined, but I feel like yesterday was just a dump of information, and I felt like I made more connections than I had made in the past few days, but I feel like it's almost like too much. I had like 5 different requests for my schedule, which I haven't even set up because I haven't met with my teammates to see what their schedules look like. So within the time frame of, I want to say 2 hours, in that time frame I had my morning time, which was all taken for our ELA expectations, and then we had about maybe like another hour, but every time I sat down with my team, it was like people were coming in, like the art specialists came in, people want to introduce themselves, kids were coming in. We had to make decisions about outdoor learning. We had to figure out our schedules, and do you have your schedule yet? No, I literally just sat down with my team, and then I ate some lunch, and then I had to try to debrief, and I was talking with one of my friends just about how I feel like there was no middle ground. There's no middle ground for new teachers. Like, we're experienced teachers and we're expected to just go. I feel like I needed somebody to kind of guide me through, like, this is what we need first. Like, priority, we need your schedule. In order for you to do that, you need to meet with your teammate. After you meet with your teammate, then here are all the schedules that you need to plug in. It goes back to, what do we actually really need to know on the very first 2 days of school? And what are some things that we can kind of sprinkle throughout? I feel like we tend to just throw everything on there, and then we kind of go from there, and expect all the learning to happen. At some point, other things are going to be dumped out of our brain because we can't handle that much information and try to figure out and build a classroom. It's almost like we're building a house, and instead of telling us how to build the house, we were told, and here's how you install cabinets, and here's how you lay down the flooring, and here's how you here's a home decorating 101. Those are things that we don't need at this time. First, we just need to know how to put the frame together. And we still I haven't gone all the way to where I feel like the frame is ready to go and we are ready to start the year with kids. I feel like I needed to know who I was working with and what kind of classroom I needed and what kind of requirements were needed, and not in the know specifically what are the structures I need in place. You need to have a guided reading time. You need to have an independent reading time. You need to have 90 minutes of mathematical instruction, and it is broken down into these parts. Okay, so now that you have your schedule ready to go, now let's talk about why we do these things. That's all I want. and I overslept today. And it's 5:45 and I'm going to a different school again today for more training. So that's where my brain is right now. So I was taking a shower and it just occurred to me why I'm so exhausted, because usually at the beginning of the year I'm revitalized and excited, and I just realized why I'm so exhausted. You know, there's a scene in Angus, the movie, where they talk about where he talks about at the very end, he realizes that that he's creating this organism, and you put the organism in there, and then there's a dominant system, and the dominant system changes the organism that he's in, and then finally at the end he realizes that he needs to change the system in order to be a successful organism. That's where I'm at right now. In the past, I have been part of the system. I've always known what was expected. I've always known who I was, what kind of teacher I was, what kind of person I was to my teammates. But when I'm in a new system, I am literally the systems around me and I'm the little organism. So I have to figure out how to maneuver all of these systems, and it makes me very tired. Even something as small as figuring out schedules, that's a big deal, and it's very different from how it has been done in the past for me. So usually I'm a teacher and I'm given the exact times that I'm teaching the content that I'm teaching. Here's when specials are. Here's when people are coming into your classroom. Here's when you're teaching these items. Whereas at my new school, it's very different. It's here's a blank schedule and here's what we know for sure that you're going to have. You have your lunch and you have your math intervention time. Everything else is kind of open and you decide, which is very new thinking for me. So that's a whole nother thing. And then when people come and ask me, hey, what's your schedule? I don't know, because I have never been in this situation before where I get to pick my own schedule. So that is one thing that I just realized. The other thing that I had kind of had an epiphany about just today was that even the systems thinking that we do in the classroom for kids. I've always been a framework of these are your items, these are what you're responsible for because you're an individual. The way my new school is structured is not about the individual, it's about the community, it's about everybody working together. So instead of one thing for all kids, everything should be for every kid, which is a complete flip of how I've always run things. I'm going to have them choose their own tables every day. They just come in and choose their own tables. It's not flexible seating, it's flexible options. So everybody gets the same seat, but the options of where you sit and why you sit there are different every day, or why you sit in one spot. But the materials are going to be all in a bucket because I do have circles instead of, they're not going to be responsible for their own items. But the items that they need for that day are going to be for every group, which makes everybody responsible for everything at all times, which changes the community from I'm responsible for my items here to I'm responsible for my whole class. Changes the way that you think and changes the way that you do practice. So putting things into actual practice and thinking about I'm going to do this one day, two different things. So that's why I'm so tired. So I'm back in the classroom, and today I have, tomorrow is Meet Your Teacher Night, and then the next day I have actual kids. So at this point, it's all about priority. I'm not going to get my room perfectly ready. It's not everything's going to be out and ready to go for students, because learning environments don't actually get created until you meet your kids, because some kids might need different needs, have different needs, and then others might not be successful in the ways that you normally had. So today, I created a list. These are my priorities. What do I need for Meet Your Teacher Night immediately? And then what do I need for my first days? So these are the priority right now. And it is 1 o'clock. So I have 3 hours until I should get all these items done. So wish me luck.